Tap in. Tap in. Tell your grandmama. Tell a friend. Tap in. Tap in. Business, music, smarter finance. Bound to win. Tap in. Tap in. Business, music, finance. If you trying to win. Now we're gonna move on to something that I think is very important. So if you are not interested in getting to know her, then you can forget about this. But if you are interested, to me, these are questions that are going to need to be answered. Okay, for me, I need to know, what is your relationship with your father? Because one of the things that I was talking to a colleague about, which struck me, is he said that the father teaches the child to control their emotions. Do you agree with that? Hit me like a rock.
Father teaches a child to control his emotions.
Not in all cases, but more times than not. And this is something that I thought.
Father teaches at least a man how.
A male, right?
A male.
Because when you see a kid acting up, right? Mother is interacting with child's acting up. As soon as the father comes, what happens? Kid straightens up, stops crying, goes to bed. You know,
in the structure where that has been the case, because some people don't have that. But like, if that's the case, that's the structure that's being had. Yes, like you see the videos where like the kid will talk back to the mom, and then the dad will step in, and you know. But I don't like that, because I never talked to my mom like that, and she didn't have to go evoke my dad for me not to talk to her like that. My mom instilled that respect, and I think a lot of that is just bad parenting on some mother's parts.
I would not disagree with that, but I also, once again, we don't want to have you think we're moving that direction. But for me, I want to know, like, if I could walk around and see one thing above a girl's head, every girl, I would want to know, what's the relationship with father? Is it yellow, green, red, right? Because I think a lot of times, just from my personal experience, that correlates with you being attacked in ways that you don't understand until you realize that this is maybe how she was talked to as a child growing up.
Yeah, I think it's very situational too. Because
for sure, it's very situational.
Like,
but do you not agree that?
But I think more so than not, when you have people who have bad relationship parents, either or, it can be detrimental to their relationships in the long run. And if we're talking specifically about how women interact with their fathers, sure. If we're talking about how men learn from their fathers or the lack thereof, then yeah. But like, I would say honestly, for me, my mom is the one who taught me how to be more. My mom was the one who taught me more on how to be respectful in all spaces. My dad did too. But my mom did the brunt of it, and my dad just enforced it. So it wasn't like I talked back to my mom and then my dad comes smack me. I didn't talk back to my mom. Like, that just was never a thing, you know. That's my personal experience. Some people don't have that, you know. But I think it comes like
I did, but then I got hit and then I stopped.
By your mom or your dad?
I got the combo.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, what happens, you'll find in some like parental dynamics is that mom will say something, and then she's like, he's not listening. And then dad will step in. And in a lot of situations, especially like mom-centric ones, the mom will step in and she'll handle it, and the dad will never have to. And if it escalates to a specific spot, then dad will step in. And by that time, you already know
you're in trouble.
Exactly.
And I just want to make sure, disclaimer, the reason that I say relationship with father and not mother is because I've heard the term, and you probably would agree, you've heard the term daddy issues more than mommy issues, but also it's more times than not that the father's not in the picture. And so more so than just saying not mom, what I'm saying is, how's her relationship with the one that was not in the picture? I mean, I'd keep it 100. I have a pops, but you would call him my stepdad, but he popped in and took care of me and my 3 other siblings before he had his own siblings with my mom. And so for a long time, I was very angry, and I didn't realize it, but I was very angry at my biological, who I call OG. And it was because of just not understanding the dynamic of how things work. And so as I got older, as I was able to talk to him, I was able to reconcile those feelings are no longer there in me, and I'm able to love my pops and also still respect my OG, right? A lot of people still have resentment to the fathers that were not there, who left and who raised a whole nother family when he still had kids back. And so I just say that to say, you might stick it out. You might want to be like, this is too much for me. But I feel like one of those things is you need to know, what does that relationship look like? And maybe it's not with the father. Maybe it's with the mother. Maybe it's with both parents. Maybe she was raised or he was raised by the grandfather or the grandmother. Like, you need to know, in my opinion, if you are serious, you need to know that, because that could come back to bite you from the butt. Another thing is, what does this person do for work? I feel like if a person has had 7 jobs in 12 months on one side of the coin, they can get a job on the other side of the coin. Why do they need so many new opportunities?
Yeah. I mean, I think all of that just goes into paying attention and looking at things that could be potential red flags.
If you are serious. If you're not serious, this ain't for you and you can skip this. Yeah. Another thing is the relationship goals. If people just want to party and have fun and fuck, that's okay.
Yeah.
But you need to know that, because you might be thinking, oh, this is a girl I want to marry. But if she's like, I prefer an open relationship and to live separately, you got to know that. Does she want to be a wife and a mother, or does she want to be a partner? I think some people don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
You need to know that, right? You need to understand, maybe she wants to have kids but doesn't want to impact her body, because maybe there are health risks that you don't know about, where a lot of women in her family have either had miscarriages or almost died giving birth, so she doesn't want to do that. Is adoption up for the table? Yeah. Is she more selfish than you? Everyone's selfish. I think the greatest athletes ever are selfish, because when they could have been home or doing something else, they were in the gym, or they were wherever they were training, working to perfect their craft. But I think if someone is too selfish, that could be a yellow flag or a red flag. Do you have any examples, Alan, of what you feel like is a selfish move? Because I do.
Just in general?
Yeah.
I mean,
that could be looked at as a red flag. Here's one.
It's hard to just quantify, because so many different things in certain situations can be selfish. I think the biggest thing is not pinpointing specifics. It's looking at the bigger picture.
Yes.
Like, I met a girl recently and we vibed. Her energy was great. And as I got to know her, I met her in the wild, which I like. And as I got to know her, I realized she is kind of a very selfish person. And that's just who she is. And to me, that makes her not my partner, or someone that I want to be a partner with. But that doesn't make her a bad partner for someone else.
Exactly.
Because she doesn't have, she has selfish tendencies, but she's not necessarily a selfish person.
And men are selfish as well.
Exactly.
I know that I'm super selfish.
Yeah, I'm very selfish when it comes to my life and the way my life is set up. But like, when I am with somebody, I can be giving, I can be caring. And I have those qualities. Hence why a lot of times when I date people, they're like, oh, you seem like you're such a good this, that, or the other thing. I want to be with you. I want this, that, or the other. And I'm like, you don't. I'm just the first person who's probably treated you with care and compassion. And that can be a big thing. That's the biggest thing that I would say sets people apart from wanting to be a partner and the perceived idea that they are a good partner. You can meet somebody who does the right things just because they know how to do the right things. And you meet somebody who does the right things because they want to do the right things. They're two different kind of people.
That's great. That's great.
I am a person who does the right thing because I know how to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not doing the right thing because I want to be to be that person. And I say that in a very specific way. When I date someone, I date them with the feeling of they are important. But they are important because I'm with them at that moment. and they're not important holistically in my life because I'm not trying to make them that way.
And there are levels of selfish, which to you may be okay.
Correct.
Right?
And as long as you were honest and open about that, like I tell people all the time, hey, when I first meet them, hey, look, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I am selfish with my time, and I would like for you to be selfish with your time as well. Because there are going to be some times where you're like, hey, I would like to see you. And I'm like, I'm doing something. And I want that to be reciprocated. You let me know when you're doing something you don't have time. And then when our times match up, then we hang out.
Yeah.
And the way that you know that the relationship is progressing to something else is because you will start to find, hey, look, I want to do less of this over here so I can make time to spend time with this person. And that person should say, all right, cool, I want to do less of this so I can make time with spend. Or, hey, I'm doing this and I want to include this person in that, and I want to build and cultivate and move in this specific direction. And that all goes back down to communication.
The selfish example I was going to bring up was this girl came up to me and I was showing some photos and I was like, hey, like, you should let me take some photos of you. She was very flirtatious, which was cool. You know, I flirt for fun. And then she gave me a hug, gave me her number, and then kissed me on the cheek. So I'm watching the game. Next thing you know, she walks by where we were sitting with a whole nother dude. She was super selfish in that moment, right? To come over to me.
That was your interpretation of it?
That was my interpretation, because if I am with somebody that I want to be taken serious, right? And vice versa, you're not just going to walk over to no dude and give him a kiss on the cheek. Y'all can do everything that happened and be cool, but the kiss on the cheek, like she wasn't French either.
See, and I have a different take on that.
But also, players get chose, so I'm not tripping. But I'm just saying, if this is somebody that I wanted to take seriously, that's just a red flag for me off the bat.
I don't think that she was selfish in that specific phase. I don't think that was selfish. And that's what I'm saying. The difference in perception is that, like, for you, you're like, I don't want anybody I'm trying to be partnered with to act in that manner.
So you would be cool with, like, somebody that you was rocking with just kiss somebody on the cheek?
100%. That doesn't bother me. It's intention. If her intention was, I'm trying to make my man jealous, selfish. If her intention was, oh, I just met this person because I like meeting people and I thought it was very jovial, she didn't make out with you. She kissed you on the cheek. But that signifies something to you.
You ever heard that Drake song called Signs?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That signifies something to you.
Can't drink all night, still start in the morning. Okay.
That signifies something to you. To me, that wouldn't have signified something to me.
Okay, that wouldn't signify something to you.
Yeah. Okay. But again,
fellas, if your lady kiss a random dude in a club,
I don't agree,
on E6 at 7:57, whenever it was the first quarter of the Sunday night game. That's a red flag. And we're gonna move on now to
the Wham has spoken.